She said, you probably need to call your doctor. And so me and my doctor are buddies, and so I sent him a text and sent him pictures. And so, yeah, I went by my doctor, and he definitely says it's in. What is going on, y'all? Jason over here at Cog Hill Farm. I got something crazy. I got something crazy to tell y'all. Besides Holly, Holly's, look at this thing. I don't know what she's got going on, but she is wild. What in the world? Oh my gracious. But let me tell you about my crazy morning, because this is crazy. To me, it's crazy. You know, maybe not. Some of y'all can relate to this. I don't know. So I was cutting my spring blooming American pillow roses back. If y'all remember, I got a fungus disease on these guys, and Jason over there from Petals told me to try to keep the new growth like this cut back, because that's where the spores are coming from. And so I've been trying to do that. I have fallen down on the job a little bit now. I don't know, I have. And look, it's been grown back. This is a few weeks growth right here. Isn't that unreal? But cutting these guys back, and as I'm cutting, you can see how long those limbs are on this rambling rose right here, the American pillar. I had one just kind of drop and just fall on my hand, and they got thorns. These American pillars, this is not a thornless variety right here. This thing here is slap full of thorns. This one don't play, okay? So it fell on my hand, and you know, it stung for a second, but nothing. I mean, I've cut roses 1,000,000 times. I mean, I feel like. Didn't think anything about it. Well, that evening, the finger it fell on, my pointer finger, it got kind of sore. Didn't think anything about it. Didn't see a thorn anywhere, nothing stuck in there. Didn't have to get tweezers to get it out or anything. Okay, and that went on for a few days or so, and it kind of went away. Well, here in the last couple of weeks, y'all, my finger has kind of gotten sore again, and I actually just sort of forgot about the whole rose situation here, and I told Brooke I thought I may be getting gout in my finger. And she said, gout? And I said, yeah. And so I Googled it, what gout looks like and feels like. And so yesterday, I told Brooke, I said, I can't get over this finger. I don't know if I got gout or if I got arthritis or something. And she said, I just don't see you getting arthritis just in one finger. And she said, Jason, look at it. Look how swollen it is. And it is. I don't know if it's showing up on camera, but you can really tell the difference between my two pointer fingers right there. And she said, when did you cut those roses? And I said, bro, that was several weeks ago. She said, I think your finger's infected. And I said, you know, I guess it could be infected. I said, but I didn't get a splinter, just a thorn, just the rose hit me. She said, you probably need to call your doctor. And so me and my doctor are buddies, and so I sent him a text and sent him pictures. And so, yeah, I went by my doctor. And he definitely says it's infected. It's not, pretty sure it's not arthritis and not gout, that I got an infection in there, and he has given me some antibiotics, and I got to go to the drugstore and pick them up today, and said if it's not any better by Monday, I got to let him know ASAP, because there is a thing called spore something. But he began to tell me again about this story that they would teach him in medical school about a logger, and how this logger came into the clinic and was extremely sick, and when they ran tests on him, come to find out he had an infection all over his body. The entry point was from a splinter, and I forget what it's called. I should have wrote it down. Y'all know me, anyways, the entry point was from a splinter that hit him, and there were some spores on there, and that caused an infection in his hand or finger, and it spread to his hand and ended up spreading to his whole body, and it can be very serious. So that's why I got to let him know, if by Monday, if this hasn't cleared up any, then we're going to have to do something different. Which, Again, I am a little stunned. I told him, I said, Doc, I mean, I cut roses all the time. All the time. And he said, yep. He said, our body's constantly fighting things 24/7. And every now and then, one thing just slips right on through our defense system and through the cracks. And this looks like this was yours. And then me and him got talking, you know, just think about it. This would have been 60, 80, 90, 100 years ago. You know, something like this could be extremely bad. Ain't that crazy? I mean, it's not that long ago at all. You know, you get an infection back then and you'd be in trouble. Or could be in trouble, you know, if your body couldn't fight it off. But anyways, that's what's going on with me. I gotta go to town, go by my drugstore and get a antibiotic. I think it's amoxicillin. I think that's what he put me on. Again, me and him talk for an hour. We always talk about everything, life in general. He's a good friend of mine, and I forget what he tells me when he starts talking about medical stuff, you know. Don't register with my farmer Jason brain. But yeah, have y'all ever had that before? You ever had anything like that? Especially trimming roses. And he said that the most common way to get this is through a thorn. And most of the time, it's roses. It's not a pulpwood worker or a logger getting a splinter. Most of the time, it's roses. I guess, you know, sometimes I wear gloves, but I'm gonna be honest with you, most of the time I don't, because I don't have like a designated pair of rose gloves. I just got some leather gloves, and half the time I can't remember where I put them. But I think I may buy me some rose gloves. I may do that today. And they'll be designated specific for roses. Or I could just clear all this out and just put thornless roses in here. That's a thought. I'm telling these American pillars right here, they're rough. And I should have known better. I should have worn my gloves. But I mean, I've probably cut these roses back here. Just these roses. Ain't no telling how many times. Ain't no telling how many cuts I've made on my roses. These American pillar roses, and never wore gloves. And, you know, gotten a thorn in me or whatever. So hopefully this clears up. I really thought I was getting arthritis in that finger. I did. I really thought I was getting arthritis in that finger right there. I got some of that Velcro, you know, when I had my tennis elbow that Dr. Park told me to put on it to help relieve it until it healed up. And I've been putting that on there because it's an anti-inflammatory, and it worked. It would work. I would use it. I wouldn't use it every day. I wouldn't put it on today because I can halfway move it, but I don't know, just rose thorn. Who would have thought a daggum rose thorn has got me having to go to the doctor and get some medicine, and if it's not well by, what is that? I'm recording this on Thursday, so Thursday, well, I'll take it today, Thursday. We'll just say Friday, Saturday, Sunday. If it's not any better in 3 or 4 days, I don't know what we're gonna do. He just said, just let me know. He didn't get into those details. I don't know what the next step is. I haven't Googled that yet. I'm probably not going to. I'm not. I learned my lesson a long time ago about Googling symptoms. You know, I have, because it will absolutely scare you to death, and I don't need that in my life, I can tell you that. Yeah, I do not need that. Let me tell you, I got a quick story about Googling a symptom, and it scared me to death in thinking that I had a brain tumor. So this was several years ago. Several years ago. 5, 6, 7, something like that. I started having a phantom, that's what I call it, a phantom smoke smell. Y'all ever had that? I had. I just feel like I could smell something burning all the time. just a phantom smoke, that's hard to say, a phantom smoke smell. And so I Googled it. First thing popped up was a brain tumor, and it's pushing on my brain, causing me to smell things that I shouldn't, or phantom smells. So I knew that's what it was. I knew it. I knew I had a brain tumor, and worried myself sick. Called my doctor, Dr. Park, and he said, come on in, Jason. Let's check you out. But I don't think you got a brain tumor. It's like, okay. First thing he did was he looked in my eyeball, and you know, you can see somewhat through there, and through your pupil and to the back there. And he said, I don't see anything. I don't. And he did some other stuff to me. We did some blood work, and he said, but we're gonna rule it completely out, because I don't need you worrying, and I don't need to be wrong. So we're gonna schedule an MRI, which they did, and no brain tumor. What it was that I was having an allergy reaction to something that I was allergic to, which was causing me to get inflammation in my sinuses, which was causing this smoke-like smell. But I definitely thought I had a brain tumor, and yep, scared me to death, telling you the truth. And I tell you, I figured out what it was. So I couldn't figure out what the allergy was causing it, but I did. It was shortly after all this, and went to clean out my car. I had a early model old Honda Accord that I drove, and was cleaning it out, opened up the trunk, went to clean out the trunk and stuff, and this odor came up. It's like, man, that smells musky. And then I felt, and the trunk was wet. So the seal around the trunk had just gotten old, and water was coming into my trunk of my car, and I had about that much water where the spare tire was. All that was wet, and it started mildewing. And so I cleaned all that out, replaced that seal, and I started driving another vehicle to work until all that got cleaned out, dried out, and all that kind of good stuff, and the symptoms went away. So that's the allergic reaction I was having, was to that mildew growing in the trunk of my Honda. And that's what was causing me to have that phantom smoke smell. All that being said, I gotta know if any of y'all have ever had an infection caused by a rose thorn or a blackberry thorn, or I gotta know if you ever got an infection like that and you had to take medicine and all that kind of good stuff.
Are y'all done? You know, I didn't want y'all to get on that pond side anyway. So I sure am glad you took it upon yourselves to come back over to this side. Honey, you are full of it. What you doing, little one?
But I want to show you guys something while I'm over here in this area, besides the beautiful roses. Aren't they gorgeous? These guys are gorgeous. I don't even have to trim these much, so their thorns are pretty small. I tell you what I'm gonna do. I know Jason over there at Petals From the Past has got some rose gloves. And while I run to town, I may try to run over there and pick those up, because if he's got some, they're gonna be really good. But I'm over here in the fruit orchard, and this is my Muscadine rose right here. Got two of them. And I got gold and I got purple. Now some call the gold ones scuppernongs, but that's a term that was given to a gold muscadine, and it just kind of gets passed down, passed down, passed down. And so a lot of people call the gold ones scuppernongs, even though they're both muscadines. That makes sense. But I want to show y'all come on in here and look how awesome our muscadines are really doing. I mean, look at this. That one's not quite, it might be. Look, I am loaded, look at that. This is the purple one, and actually, flavor-wise, I prefer the purple ones. I do, versus the gold ones. Isn't that beautiful? Now, this is a local, native grape of the South, right here. Very sweet, very delicious, tastes different than any grape that you'll eat. Different than your common table grapes and that kind of thing. That one's a little too early, but this one's not. They are so good though. They'll be deep, deep, deep purple. Let me get over here in the sun. Right there, deep, deep, deep purple and extremely sweet. Now, this is one of those grapes that have the ooey gooey center. You know what I'm talking about. If you don't, then it's hard for me to explain, but a lot of people, your grapes you get from your box stores and all that, I call them table grapes, and they've got the, just a firm fruit-like center. These do not. Matter of fact, let me show you. Just in case you've never seen one of these before. It's gonna be a lot of juice. I'm gonna do it like this. I don't want, let's see. Here we go. So it's got this ooey gooey center right here that some people don't like the texture of, and I get it, I understand. Right there. See it? Like a little blob. And do it like that. Isn't that how those people do like that? They're trying to show you something. I don't know if that's working or not. But anyways, that's what it's like. That's the fruit part. And there's the skin. It comes completely out of this the skin like that. Very good. This is a common grape here in, I'm assuming the entire South, but people in Alabama go crazy for these grapes, and they're in season now. So if any of y'all are coming down for the big meet and greet where you get to meet us and a bunch of other YouTubers at Petals From the Past, our favorite nursery, they have a you pick, and they've already had these picked for you. And if you're interested and never had one of these or want to try one, that is your opportunity. Or if you do love these and want some, you can get you some then. Now the seeds are in here. Now there's a bunch of seeds in these. I say a bunch. About, it could be anywhere from 2 to 4 seeds per thing, and you can just squeeze them out. I usually do this when I eat them. And I eat the whole thing. I eat the skin and all. They're so sweet. If you pick them a little early, they does got a little tart flavor to it. But all in all, absolutely delicious. Let me show y'all a gold one. Now these are the gold ones here. If I can find one. Oh yeah, this one's ready. Right here. And again, I like the flavor of the purple ones versus the gold ones. But people like the gold ones, or the scuppernongs as they call them. Both are very, very good and are very similar in taste. They really are. Now some people don't like the skin. The skin is tough, but it doesn't bother me at all. I've been eating these things since I was knee-high to a grasshopper, I can tell you. I mean, back in the day, y'all, back in the day, everybody's grandpa, grandma, great-grandparents had 2 things in their backyard here in Alabama. But the 2 things that I can just, to me, that every grandparent had, or almost every grandparent had, it didn't matter if you lived in the town, city, or the country. You had muscadines and a fig tree. Brown turkey or Celeste. To me, almost every grandparent had that. And my granddaddy made the best muscadine jelly that I've ever eaten. To this day. To this day. So, I don't know if I'm going to do it this year because they're still kind of hard to pick because they're just laying on the ground. And I'm gonna be quite honest, if we're gonna be honest now. I don't like running my hand down through here because I cannot see anything in the bottom of this vine. And we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I got 9 of these. Getting a rose thorn in my finger is one thing, but getting bit by a rattlesnake or a copperhead is a totally different situation. I do not need that in my life right now, so I'm not gonna take the chance. To me, this would be the perfect hiding spot. It's gonna be cool. It's so hot outside. Birds are coming around. I mean, we haven't seen many snakes here on our farm, thank goodness, knock on wood, but I'm just not gonna take any chances of me running my hand down through there and there'll be a critter in there that doesn't want my hand down in there. But harvesting is gonna be a lot easier and less scarier when this is all up off the ground. And let me tell you, these muscadine vines get massive, really big. So I gotta put a pretty big structure, a lot bigger than what I got on my blackberries over here. This will be probably 6-inch post in the ground, and it's gonna be done kind of like a clothesline. It'll be like a T, and we'll grow the muscadines on top of that. But I need to go over to Petals when I get my thorn gloves and look at their setup again and take pictures and do some measurement, because I need to have that ready and get that done. Plus I got Caden that can help me do this as well. Hey Tucker, you know, I've heard of cat scratch fever, but have you ever heard of rose thorn fever, baby? Not me either. News to me. Absolutely news to me. And y'all, guess who's back? Summer. Got my shorty shorts back on. Summer's back. Tomorrow, which is gonna be Friday, it's supposed to be brutal again. I wish he'd make up his mind, don't you, girl? It was fun while it lasted, though, didn't it? But they are saying some more cooler weather's coming. That's what they're saying. I hope they're right. Come on, girl. All right. So if some of y'all may have missed Brooke's video or didn't watch it, I wanted to give y'all a quick update on the cast iron. Everything's still on schedule for October. Now we have gotten some emails, maybe some people had gotten confused that this was a pre-sale on the cast iron. It will not ship out until October. And we tried to make that as clear as possible. We mentioned it in several videos and several live streams and even had it all over the website. But if you are confused about that, this was a pre-sale. So Brooke rented a truck, went to Tennessee and got the boxes right here for the cast iron. They said the boxes were ready if we wanted to pick them up. So we did, because these boxes we kind of have to put together. And so we're gonna go ahead and start putting some of these together. Oh gosh, I can't get one out now. See, we have to fold these boxes up and put these together so we can get ready to ship out the cast iron in October. But if anything changes, we'll definitely let you guys know. We just wanted to give y'all a quick update, because I know a lot of y'all had pre-ordered, and just wanted to give y'all an update what was going on with that. What was you doing when Honey and Jesse were cutting up? Where were you at? That's what I want to know. You too old for that now, huh? I don't believe that for 1 second. You know, it just seems like yesterday, brother. You was jumping around on that trampoline. You know it? Sure was fun. Oh, man. Those were the days. Me and Carl was a little bitty old thing, and you was just a baby, wasn't you? Now look at you. Big old strapping man now, aren't you? How old are you now, Tip? Let's see. 9? You getting close to 9, brother? I believe you are. You might be 9. I have to go back and look. I might have to ask Brooke. I think, well, yeah, you're 9. Peaches is 10. Peaches will be 11. That's right. You're the second oldest here on the farm. Besides the horses. Now, I'm the original animals. I take that back. Of course, Pocket's the youngest horse at 20. We think Willie's 25 plus, and Ruska's 22. So you're a youngin' compared to those guys, aren't you? Take a look at my finger, though. You see that? That thing's swollen up. See it right there? And you just pet my head, Daddy. Don't worry about that finger. All right, brother. I think I'm going to run to Petals and get me some rose gloves. I don't want this happening anymore. Yep. I wonder if Jason's ever had that happen. I have to ask him. Maybe he's over here today. Usually he is. Oh, Holly. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Come on. You going to lay over there in your dirt pile? You going to get up when I crank this thing up, wanting to get in there. Then I'm going to have to stop, let you in. So it's best if you just come on in now. All right. You still going to sit? Okay. Let's see what happens. She still ain't got there. She comes. I knew it. I knew it. As soon as I got going, you was gonna want to get in this truck. Come on, girl. I'm not bluffing. Let's go. Can't believe you thought I was bluffing. Yeah. Silly thing. All right, so we're at Petals, and you can see their muscadines already. They got them everywhere. But this is their muscadine set up, and for some reason, and you can see how big that muscadine will get. That's one stalk. This is how we want to do ours, just like this. Right there. We got one cane coming up, and it's going to split off and go its both ways over here. But for some reason, I thought it was on a different trellis system. I thought it was much like, you can see it right here. This is all muscadines. All the way down, it curves back around and comes all the way back over there. I thought they had it on a more like a clothesline setup, you know, like a T setup. Look at there. You can see why you do it like this. Look how easy that is to harvest. You don't have to worry about them rattlesnakes and copperheads this way. See? All like that. Jason is busy unloading trucks. They said they got trucks here today. And I don't want to bother him if he's busy and ask him, would they do this differently? If you look right here, this is all muscadine right through here. But this is the kiwi. And you can see how massive the kiwi bushes are. They're huge for vines. And this is how I thought we'd get up under here. Right there. You can see this set up like this. This is how I thought the muscadines were. But that is the kiwis. And you can see that kiwi vine is the size of a tree. And you can see the kiwi fruit are on here. It's not ready yet. But they are on here. while we're here, for those who've never seen it, this is where I got the idea to do the rose swag. This is Petals. Now, they've had to replace roses throughout the years. That is Peggy Martin right there. You can see Peggy, how great she does on this rose swag. As a matter of fact, this is the best looking rose on their rose swag. Kind of makes me wonder if I should relocate my American pillars and plant Peggy Martin on mine. I wouldn't have to worry about the thorns, that's for sure. And she is a repeat bloomer. It's not just a springtime bloomer. That question kind of lingers around in my head a lot, and something I may think about doing. If you come over here, this is their American pillar, same rose as mine, and they actually had cut this one all the way back because it had gotten so big that they needed to do it differently. So this one has been chopped all the way down and restarted again. And this rose is so relentless. It doesn't take it long at all to grow. But you can see the difference the way this looks versus that Peggy Martin. That Peggy Martin is a foolproof rose, I tell you. Also, if you look over here, this is where I got the inspiration to do the Alabama parterre garden at the house, the side garden. But I only have 2 grass spots compared to their 4, but just beautiful. Absolutely beautiful over here. If you've never been here, man, you need to plan a trip because it is gorgeous. Now back here, this is usually their vegetable garden. You see their tarpon, and so they're done with their summer garden. What I like about this vegetable garden is that center focus point of that arbor with a grape growing on it. If I'm not mistaken, that is Foxy Lottie growing in the middle of their vegetable garden, which I love the looks of that right there. Just beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Well, as I was leaving, Mr. Jason broke free, and I was asking him, number one, about the muscadine trellis, and if he had to do it over again, would he do it like that, or would he do it like they did the kiwi? And he said, definitely leave it like it is. He said, because that's 1 trunk and 2 limbs, or whatever you want to call it, for the muscadine. And he said that's how you want it to grow. And the side shoots, much like the roses, is where the fruit's going to come from. And if you do it like the kiwi with that, I call it the clothesline style, he said you'll have so many side shoots that they're just going to intertwine with each other, and you're going to just spend so much time pruning that the single wire is the way to go. So I'm glad I was able to talk to him about that. I also asked him about roses and such, and he said his mother actually had the same thing happen to her that happened to me, and it lingered for a month or so, and she finally went to the doctor, gave her antibiotic, and it cleared her up. So that gives me a little relief to thinking that it's going to help me out as well. Then the rose gloves, they had several different kind in there, and I asked him which ones would he choose, and he said definitely these. I was going to tell y'all, these are made by, I ain't got my glasses on here, made by Garden Works right here. And he said these are the ones that the American Rose Society has put their stamp on. And he said if they put their stamp on it, they mean it. And he said this is by far his favorite pair of gloves. And if the American Rose Society says, hey, these are the gloves that we like, he said, then you know that they're great gloves. So I was glad to get these. Now I'm going to head over and get my antibiotic, and I may prune some roses. I did talk to him about swapping out the American Pillar Rose for Peggy Martin, and he said, you know what, that may not be, that would not be a bad idea if I wanted to do it. That Peggy Martin is relentless, grows great, does not have thorns, disease resistant, and that really would not be a bad idea if I wanted to do that. And the good thing about the Peggy Martin rose is that it would take over in a season. So it wouldn't be like, you know, I would be starting over, but it wouldn't be like I'm gonna have to wait 3 to 5 years to get to the same point that I am now. So something for me to ponder. And if I do that, I got the gloves to cut the American pillars back and transplant to another spot on the farm that I wouldn't have to worry about pruning so much. Maybe just plant them on a fence and let them go. Just got back from Petals and the pharmacy, and it's Augmentin. That's the antibiotic that I got. I think I said amoxicillin earlier, but it's Augmentin. I can't remember stuff like that. But I tell you what I want to do. I want to try out these new gloves, y'all. I will tell y'all this. If you were to order you some of these, Garden Works perennial products, I would get a size larger. These are extra large, and they fit fine for me. And I'm one of those people, large, extra large. The large was really small, so I would think about probably getting the next size up. But I gotta try them out. Let's see if they work. That's what I gotta do right here. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Look, I'm grabbing it like it ain't nobody's business. Ha 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 ha. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Y'all can hear Brooke cutting that grass. Oh, these are great. I'm glad I got these. These are great. I know Peaches is probably going to use this against my 25-cent raise, but absolutely worth it right there. And since these are pretty much specific to roses, I'm not going to use these to go put fence post in or weld or whatever. These will be strictly for roses. And I'm going to put them right there by my Felcos, my clippers. And y'all stay on top of me now. Y'all see me out here now without them gloves. I want y'all to whistle. I can't whistle like that. I know. That just seems like the universal sign to whistling for somebody. Like that. But if you see me, whistle at me. Like that. Hey boy, put your gloves on there, Farmer Jason. Y'all stay on top of me now. Oh my goodness. You gonna let me pet you today? I saw you over there running. Yeah. You done turned into a daggone running machine, ain't you? You and Jesse are trying to give Shake and Bake a run for their money, I believe. I do believe that. We might have a new Shake and Bake. Is that what we got going on here? Goodness gracious. Oh my goodness, I swear. You something else, honey. Jesse. Jesse, you are something else. I ain't never in my life. Hey, Tip, I done seen you this morning, buddy. Yeah, we done talked. Yeah, we have. Yeah, we have. Oh, goodness. Sometimes the goats think I need one of them Hungarian back massages. Oh, here comes Nugget now. They're all together. Yeah. Everybody seems to get along, so they're all together. We just gotta watch the food situation. Nugget, Honey, and Jesse, and Tip. That sounds like a joke. Yeah. Stop me if you heard this one. 2 donkeys, an emu, and a goat walk into a bar. Oh, goodness. Honey said she wanted to get just a little bit more camera time real quick. Yes, she did. And Jesse is literally putting her weight on my shoulder. Yeah, she is. Y'all look at this, hang on. Can she get any closer? Oh, I need more than one camera going. Y'all donkeys are something else. I tell you the truth, they are. Oh goodness, y'all something else. Honey, you got anything you want to say to anybody? Hmm? Let me get that out of your mouth. You don't need that, do you? Or do you? Like something in your eyelash there. Now. There we go. I don't know what Nugget's doing back here. Who knows? He sees something though. What do you see, Nugget? I think he sees the cows. Jessie said that she wanted just to get a little bit closer to y'all. In case y'all didn't know she was here. And Honey does too. Right there. This is real up and close and personal. I'm sure that the camera lens is fogging up from their breath. Get in closer. Can y'all get any closer? Y'all crack me up. Yeah, y'all do. Y'all crack me up. Well, y'all, hang on. One more time of Honey right here. She wants to make sure. Oh, y'all see her. Oh goodness. Okay. All right. Y'all, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I appreciate y'all going with me over to Petals and getting my rose gloves. I know y'all gonna keep me straight, right, Jessie? We catch you guys on the next one. Jessie, tell them. Y'all be good. You nut. Oh goodness. I'm crying. Look, I already got tears coming down my face. Oh goodness.